DreAllDay.com.
Dre Philosophy Volume 0. Dre Baldwin's full philosophy on the mental game and life at DreAllDay.com. Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today we're talking about productivity. How can we get more done? We got the same amount of time that we've always had in our lives, but we got more things to do, right? We got these smartphones, we got computers, we got the internet, we got everybody putting all this stuff out, all these things going on, this thing to laugh at, this thing to pay attention to. You at work, you're at school, you got homework, you want to work on your game, you want to build your business on the side, you got friends, family, kids, parents, all these things to do. How can you get more done with the exact same amount of time that we've always had and that for the foreseeable future we will always have? I'm going to give you 3 of my best productivity tips that are all related to your mental game, but are things that you can actually apply right now at the moment that you are watching this video. Actually, I'm gonna give you 3, but I'm gonna give you a tip number 0. All right, here's tip number 0 before I get to number 1 is kill the to-do list. That to-do list that you write down every day, these are all the things that I need to do, or the list that you've been moving it on, rolling it on from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday. Everything you didn't get done, you keep pushing things along on that to-do list. Get rid of the to-do list. Let me tell you what to do instead. Get your calendar or the calendar app on your phone and put your task into the calendar app. Why the calendar app instead of the to-do list, even though they're the same task? The reason why is that the calendar is finite, meaning eventually you get to the end of the day, right? You got from 12 midnight when the day begins till 11:59 p.m. the day ends. You got to get done everything you want to get done within that 24-hour period. When those 24 hours are up, you can't fit any more tasks in there. So what you need to do is take all your to-do list stuff and figure out, when am I actually going to do them on your calendar. Maybe you can even put a location. If you use an app on your phone with a calendar, it's going to ask you, where is this task actually taking place? You need to be at work, at school, at home, at the park, at the store. Where are you going to actually do it? So you will have to figure out, how long is this going to take, or how much time am I going to give myself to do this, and where am I going to do it, and when am I going to actually do it? That makes it more concrete than just writing it down on the list and saying, okay, I need to do these 18 things. Where on your calendar can you fit in those 18 things? If you already committed to 8 hours over here, 6 hours over there, and you still got 8 hours of sleep, and you got to eat and sleep and take a shower, you probably won't be able to fit everything in. That way, when you use a calendar, you can start prioritizing your tasks instead of just writing everything down as if you're going to do it when you're not actually, you don't even realistically, logically have time to actually get to it. Point number 1. So that was point number 0. Point number 1, get up earlier in the day. I made a video a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, about why I like to wake up early. I did a podcast episode on what I do every single day before 8 a.m. every day, at least on a normal day when I'm getting I'm on my normal schedule. And I talked about getting up early, number 1 being a discipline. It is a mental discipline to get up early every single day. Now, some people say I'm not a morning person. They're not a morning person. They rather do things at night. They come alive at night. And I've read articles that run the gamut. I've read some people say, listen, nobody's a morning person until they start actually getting up in the morning and doing stuff, because they kind of made themselves be a morning person by developing the habit. There are other articles and quote-unquote research, maybe it's research, maybe it's not, of people saying that some people are just wired to come alive at night. They get more done, they're more active mentally and physically at night than they are early in the morning. I think if you get up early every single day and actually start doing stuff, you'll feel like getting up early and doing stuff. If you don't get up early, if you never get up early and do stuff, or you've gotten up early and you felt sluggish and tired and did nothing, then of course that's the way you want to feel about getting up early in the morning. If you start doing it, you'll start feeling good about it. There are people who say, I don't like to go to the gym and work out. But if you start working out every day, you'll start feeling like working out, especially when you're getting results from actually doing it. So the productivity hack here is getting up earlier in the morning. Now, if you get up earlier, then presumably you probably want to go to bed earlier. So does this technically give you more time in the day? Technically, I mean, depends on how you want to do it. But technically, let's just say that it doesn't, okay? It's the discipline of getting up early. And the fact that you know you're getting a jump on the world, that's what matters to me. That's what makes me want to get up early. I'm getting a jump on, I'm getting all these things done before anybody else is awake. I'm doing all this stuff before most people even start working in the day. That makes me feel good mentally inside, that I'm getting these things done ahead of the schedule of the rest of the world. Maybe that'll work for you, maybe not, but you need to actually try it. Give it at least 2 weeks of you getting up earlier than whenever you get up now, and see if that helps your productivity. But you got to get up with a plan. All right, don't get up and be like, all right, well, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. What am I going to do now? Get up with an actual plan of what exactly you're going to be doing since you are already up that early. Point number 2. And what we're talking about here is productivity tips. So I gave you point number 0, which is killing that to-do list. Point number 2 is batch similar activities and get them all done at the same time. Batching, I got this idea from Tim Ferriss. He talked about this in his 4-hour work week, which is very simple. Take tasks that are similar. When you look at your calendar or your to-do list, if you still have one, and say which of these tasks are all the same. So for example, if you need to make phone calls, you got like 3 different people you need to call. Instead of calling one person at 8 o'clock, another one at 11:30, another one at 4:15 in the afternoon, call all of them at the same time. Since you're already on the phone, you made that one call, hang up on that one, call the next person, then call the next person. So you knock all your calls out right there in order. You have batched those tasks. If you got some things you got to do in the kitchen, you got to put the dishes away, and you got to unpack the new set of silverware that you bought, and you got to rearrange the cabinet where you keep all the glasses. Do all that in one batch. Instead of having them all separate, batch together tasks that are similar so you can get them all done at the same time. For example, if you have a lot of tasks that will take you 5 minutes or less, put all the 5-minute tasks in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, you can get a whole bunch of those little 5-minute or less tasks done at the same time. You got some things you got to do on email, do all the email tasks at the same time. So batch tasks that are similar so you can get a bunch of them done at the same time. They're not all scattered and spread around in your, not in your schedule, but in your strategy, your everyday work, in your calendar or wherever you want to call it. Batching tasks that are similar. Last one, productivity tips. Give yourself time limits. This is the reason why I told you to use a calendar. Calendar gives you an automatically built-in time limit. There eventually you get to the end of your day, or eventually you're going to get to a point where you got to do something else when you're using a calendar. Okay, I can't keep doing this because I got to go to school, or I got to go to the gym, or I got this appointment, or I got this phone call coming in, or whatever the situation is. Using a calendar makes your time finite for doing things, which means you need to have a sense of urgency to get things done when you're using a calendar. When you have a to-do list, there's not as much of a there's no built-in sense of urgency with a to-do list because there's no natural boundary with a to-do list. It's just a thing you need to do. It doesn't say when, where, or how long. A calendar tells you all 3. So that's why you use the calendar. Give yourself time limits. Even without a calendar, tell yourself, okay, I got 30 minutes to knock out this video. I got 20 minutes to mess around on social media. I got 10 minutes to eat lunch, and then I got to get back to doing what I'm doing. Giving yourself these time limits. This is a mental discipline, people. So you can get more things done even when nobody's forcing you to have a limit. Giving yourself that limit. That's a choice that you have to make mentally. These are productivity tips that you can use right now on the spot where you are to get more done in less time, be more efficient with what you're doing. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, some of those tasks in your to-do list you don't even need to be doing because they're not important. And if you keep pushing them over from one day to the next, that should be giving you a hint. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.